357 SIG, does it rival 9mm? And we're gonna find out today. So excuse my voice, I do have a bit of a COVID infection, so I sound a little bit different, but what I want to do is I want to see how 357 SIG compares to 9mm in our full-size 5-inch pistols, our M&P 2.0, the 5-inch barrel, and our M&P 2.0 40 with the 357 SIG conversion barrel. Now, the 357 SIG happens to be 115 grain, as where the 9mm is a 124 grain. It's really all I could find. Or actually, it's a 125 grain, excuse me. So 115 grain, 125 grain. So our 9mm is actually rated at 1250 feet per second through a 4-inch barrel, which is a pretty good rating. Our 357 SIG is rated at 1500 feet per second through a 4-inch barrel. So we should get some really good velocities. I have a piece of wood here because I just want to see, if I hit these, what kind of penetration we might get with something like that, because that's some pretty good velocities. So we are going to go through the chronograph, see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get at the same time. I'm going to do my 10% clear ballistic test here. So I'm going to do 3 inches of clear ballistics to represent hitting our pectoral muscle, and just straight clear ballistics, just our typical clear ballistic test. See what kind of performance we get. Then I'm going to put in a 1/4 inch medium density fiberboard to represent hitting ribs or sternum, and also 4 layers of denim on the front. So what we'll see with this is basically our best case scenario, our potential of the ammo with no barriers there. And then we'll see with our more real world scenario test, what will we get. So that'll be an interesting test to see, our best case versus our worst case scenario. And then, just because I feel like having fun with these, I'm going to go back to 100 yards to shoot at my steel. I normally don't go back that far, but these are really flat shooting cartridges, and I'm pretty good with those pistols. I think I might be able to hit a couple of hits on the steel from that distance. So let's get started with this test. All right, I'm about 5 yards from the target, 4 yards from the chronograph. First up, we have our 9mm and our 5-inch pistol. I don't know who makes that bullet because it's a 125, not a 124 grain, so it's not an XTP, I don't think. So let's see how close in our 5-inch pistol we get to that 1250 rating through a 4-inch barrel. So we should see an increase over that. So 9mm, let's see what we get. 1328, 1336, 1329, 1345, 1355. Pretty nice. 357 SIG, only 115 grain, rated at 1500 feet per second. See how close we get to that. 1474, interesting. 1480, 1502, 1497, 1486. So that is pretty interesting that they have 1500 through a 4-inch barrel. I'm getting less than that through a 5-inch barrel. Typically, everything I've tested up into this point that's 357 SIG that has a rating through a 4-inch barrel is always higher in mine. So, they did it right with their 9mm, but they kind of underloaded this compared to others. So interesting. Let's try our ballistics gel block with these and just see what we get. All right, we're going to do our best case scenario test, just plain clear ballistics. See what the potential of these cartridges are. So first up, we have our 9mm. See how this will do. Okay, let's try 357 SIG now. All right, 357 SIG. Let's see how this compares. Wow, let's go take a look. So what we're seeing here with this fragmentation here is, I saw that in the first 3 inches here and I said, wow, because we can see pieces of jacket busting up immediately. A lot more impact damage. Our 9mm is just that. 357 SIG is just a massive amount of damage going on in there. So we're shedding some of that weight there, but what we got with our 9mm is we got a penetration of about 12.5 inches, which is acceptable. and we got good expansion. But with our 357 SIG, almost looks like a fragmenting round. It's like little buckshot in there almost. And what we're looking at here is about 13 inches. So we have a lot more impact effect. And on top of that, we have, you know, fragmentation and more penetration. Let's try our barrier test now with our denim and our MDF and see how that compares. All right, 9mm through our MDF and denim. See how this does. Try 357 SIG. All right, 357 SIG. See how this compares. Let's go take a look. So I'm leaving this just as is to kind of show this. We actually have pieces of fragmenting lead that just fell as it impacted here. And with our impacts here, a little more similar with that denim in place than without it. And our MDF, here's our 9mm on the bottom, 357 SIG. We have jacket embedded there. Huge mess going on. So our penetration kind of reversed with this, with the MDF. That's probably just has something to do with, you know, hitting that MDF so hard it's fragmenting the 357 SIG, and the weight isn't there, so it's going to limit it. But with our 9mm, we got a penetration of about 15¼ inches, which is perfectly fine. 357 SIG, about 14 inches. So both these are acceptable. With our MDF in there, it makes them actually a little more similar. So I don't know. Let me hit that piece of wood and we'll see how that compares. All right, I put that piece of wood up, you know, where it's not going to wiggle back, because a lot of times when I used to do this test, people wanted to see it that way. So let's just see what we get here. Here's our 9mm. Wow. 357 SIG. Well, let's go take a look. I actually was not expecting this. We got pass-throughs. Our 9mm, it went directly center here, and then it kind of arced out the side once we got to the end here. Went right through here, through the sign. You know, pretty much didn't hit the wood after that. 357 SIG, on the other hand, it went right through this thing. Interesting looking hole, almost like there's two holes. Then it hit this, and it came out the back of that as well. So we basically went through 4 2x4s with the 357 SIG and kept going. Was not expecting that. So let me shoot from 100 yards and see what we get for accuracy with these. All right, 100 yards from the target. I normally don't come back this far because, you know, the land is not very even right here, and it's kind of hard to set up and try to shoot from this distance. But I just really wanted to see if I could focus, if I could hit that target at 100 yards. So 100 yards here. There's our 9mm. I'm just gonna aim center mass. Not much else I can do because the sight is the same size as that target pretty much. So let's see if I can make a hit at least. 9mm. So I shot over the top, I believe. Let me aim just a little bit low. There we go. So I had to aim just a little bit low, but that is kind of where I aimed, so interesting. A little bit to the left and down I pulled it. And now I'm kind of struggling here. Got one more left. Alright, I did well for a while, but then just the kind of angles I have to stand at, I get kind of fatigued. And each time I missed, I kind of felt myself pull just a little bit to the left, so that's probably what was going on there. 357 SIG, moving faster. See if I can get any hits with this. Let me try to relax. Whew, that hits fast. Didn't hit the target, but that hits fast. Ooh, I pulled that. It's amazing how quick that hits. It's not even a delay, really. It's kind of hard to tell where I'm hitting, what I'm doing wrong. I think I'm hitting to the right. Let me aim just a little bit left. Same thing. Let me aim even further left. Too much. This is kind of hitting all over for me. Whoa. Well, at least I got one in the last round, and when I aimed that time, I aimed differently. I actually aimed at the headshot area, so for whatever reason, these are hitting significantly low compared to the 9mm. And I think really what it is that the 9mm, it has just enough slow speed that it might be kind of, the pistol might be tilting up a little as it leaves, and it's just, you know, impacting. By the time it gets there, it drops to where it needs to be, as where I think with the 357 SIG, what might be going on is it's so fast that when it leaves that muzzle, it's going to stay in a straight line and then start dropping, rather than having that little bit of push up that the 9mm has. So hitting really low for me at that distance. But overall, I'm going to say these are all pretty good cartridges. And even though we were below rate of velocity in 357 SIG, I'm actually okay with the velocity, because being a 115 grain, it would have fragmented that bullet beyond recognition if we would have went to about, you know, 1700 feet per second or something like that. And that would have limited the penetration. But the way they have it loaded is actually right, because we're getting the right amount of penetration. They just need to list it appropriately on their website, because they're showing 1500 through a 4-inch barrel. That ain't right. If we shot that through a 4-inch barrel, we'd probably get somewhere around, I don't know, 1350 feet per second, like anything else. So interesting overall. So that's what you get today between 9mm and 357 SIG. Corbon, not bad ammo. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.